How many are familiar with Oscar Grant and his murder? That's why we're here. This is Oscar Grant's uncle. Let's show him some love from Skyline. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having this event, allowing us to share our experience, our hope, and what we'd like to see as you as students here understand what a movement is about and why you should be a part of it. This here is about mass incarceration. And as a family member, I can tell you, the criminal justice system is a racist criminal justice system. That is why we can say that it is 2.4 million men locked up in prisons across the United States. Over 60% are black and brown men. Well, we need to ask the question, why? What I'd like to do is share similarities between Oscar and Trayvon. Tony Peroni, who was the officer that detained Oscar Grant, said that he detained him because they looked suspicious. As you know, George Zimmerman made the call that Trayvon looked suspicious. Oscar Grant and his friends were wearing black hoodies and t-shirts. As you know, Trayvon was wearing a hoodie. Oscar was on the phone talking to his girlfriend before he was brutally murdered. As you know, Trayvon was on the phone talking to his girlfriend before he was brutally murdered. Tony Peroni used racial epithets 2 times before Oscar Grant was murdered. I guess I'll go ahead and say it since we're all college students. He said to Oscar, bitch ass nigga, 2 times before he was thrown to the ground and murdered. As you know, Trayvon received racial epithets. As now the media is trying to put a spin on it, that maybe it was coon or cold, or punks or cold instead of coon. But we can go on and talk about the similarities. And the reason why I share that is because what's happened is that racial profiling has really blew up and is totally out of control. And so the men, the young men that are being incarcerated today are black and brown men for very little of nothing at all.
30 years, 20 years.
That's right. It's important as you're being students to be here to hear the message of hope and the things that we need to do to bring about a change. And I'd like to spend a few minutes to talk about the psychological warfare that we're in, because there's a psychological revolution that's taking place right now that many of us are totally unaware that is happening. It's so subtle, but yet it's blatant. When we talk about white supremacy, we're not talking about those whites that use the word or racial epithets in a sense to let you know that they hate you, right? We're talking about a system that has been built by design to discriminate against you, to incarcerate you, to capture you for the rest of your life.
That's right.
And if I can, I want to introduce you to Michelle Alexander, who written a book called Mass Incarceration, The New Jim Crow.
Go get it.
If you haven't gotten the book and had a chance to read it, you're a student, it'll be a very enlightening reading for you to come to the knowledge of what we're dealing with when we talk about mass incarceration. This is so important and it's so serious that you have to become a part of the moral people that want true justice in this world and equality to all. So you must come to understand what we're dealing with, and that's going to take you going to the books, that's going to take you coming out to events like this, that's going to take you having empathy in your heart for people that don't look just like you from what they're experiencing and suffering, so that you can understand what this war is about. And if I can, I want to read what white supremacy is so we don't be fooled, because you are students here. And I'm going to utilize the academic use of the term white supremacy. The term white supremacy is used in academic studies of racial power to denote a system of structural racism which privileges white people over others, regardless of the presence or absence of racial hatred. You don't have to always hear it to not believe that racism exists. By white supremacy, I do not mean to allude only to self-conscious racism or white supremacist hate groups. I refer instead to a political, economic, and cultural system in which white overwhelmingly control power and material resources. Conscious and unconscious idea of white superiority and the entitlement are widespread, and relations of white dominance and non-white subordination are daily reenacted across a broad array of institutions and social settings. Mass incarceration, the prison system, the criminal justice system is institutionalized racism. And the reason why more black and brown men are incarcerated today is because of that system.
That's right.
In order to bring about a change, that system must be destroyed, I feel, completely and rebuilt, or U.S. students must infiltrate with good heart and mind to bring about legislation to bring a change to that system.
Talk about the judges.
Which is the hardest road to take, because becoming a part of that system, somehow you take on the culture and don't realize yourself as becoming a racist. And here's an example. My son, when he graduated, or when he went to school, he was becoming a teacher. And when he graduated, he said, "Dad, I want to teach in the hood." And I looked at my son, CJ, and I said, "The hood? Yeah, I want to go to Chicago and teach in the hood." Boy, you don't know nothing about Chicago. Why would you choose Chicago hood to go teach? And what I'm getting at, because of white supremacy, I was totally duped in my own mind, failing to realize that the greatest need is in our community.
That's right.
We need teachers there. I'm like, didn't you go to school to get an education? Yes, Dad. But didn't you go to school to make money? Yes, Dad. Why would you want to pick Chicago? Well, that's where I believe the work is needed. And all I'm saying is that don't become educated to be miseducated.
That's right.
Many of you are here to get an education.